You're literally making humans complacent because they think the AI is going to do it. And what happens if the AI fails or, I don't know, becomes evil and tries to take out all of humanity?
I got it.
We're just all going to be sitting here like, well, at least it writes my term paper for me. Like, come on, man. 15-year-old Briana DeStefano, she was on a ski vacation when her mother, Jennifer, back home in Arizona, got a call from an unknown number. So when Jennifer answered the call, she heard the most terrifying thing that a parent can hear. The voice of her daughter, her 15-year-old daughter, Briana, sobbing and begging for help. Jennifer DeStefano says that Briana, on the phone, told her that some bad men had abducted her. And then Briana begged for help before Jennifer heard the voice of a strange man telling Briana to put her head back down and lay down. Jennifer said, quote, "The man gets on the phone and he's like, listen here, I've got your daughter. This is how it's going to go down. You call the police, you call anybody. I'm going to have my way with her and I'm going to drop her off in Mexico." And Jennifer says that while this man was talking, she could still hear her daughter's voice in the background, crying, calling for her, and begging for help. Now, the man initially demanded $1 million, but Jennifer was like, I don't have $1 million. And so he eventually lowered it to $50,000. And as Jennifer's keeping this guy talking, she's having somebody else that she's with because she was at a dance studio for a dance class for her other daughter. So she was having one of the other moms call 911 and also call Jennifer's husband, who was supposed to be with Briana on this ski trip, to just kind of like figure out what was going on. Like, was Briana okay? Did you lose sight of her? Like, where are you guys? And that's when she found out that Briana was perfectly fine. Briana was not kidnapped. She was there with her father and she had no idea what was going on. So what happened is these people, who even knows who they are, because at this point they haven't been identified, but they used AI to replicate Briana's voice. But Jennifer said it wasn't just like a replication of Briana's voice. It was Briana's voice. It was completely her voice. It was her inflection. It was the way she would have cried. I never doubted it for 1 second. It was her. We're reaching a point where AI is becoming a daily part of life, and it's scary because I personally think it's something that we are kind of in the wild, wild west of. We think it's cool and it can do all this stuff, and we're kind of just like all, on the ride, but we don't know how to regulate it or make it safe yet. Now there's ways in which you can do this with just 3 seconds of your voice. With the 3 seconds, it can come close to exactly how you sound. So these people can get this sample of your voice simply by calling you, and then you say, hello, right? And there's nobody there, they're not answering, but they're recording your voice. So you don't even have to have a public social media profile at this point. And they say that with a large enough sample size, the AI can mimic one's inflection as well as their emotion.
So things you want to look for, if the person obviously immediately starts to lower their price, right? If they go from whatever to down to a couple $1,000s, that just goes to show you any amount of money, whether it's $1 or $1 million, it's more than they had before the phone call started. So it's definitely motivated that way. You should also have something where with your family members, you have some type of word where you can say to the offender or offenders, hey, listen, I believe you. I'm going to cooperate. I'm going to get you your money. There's a word that my daughter and I or my son and I use. If they say that word, you're going to have the money wired to you right now. They know the word. And that's a way for them to say, hey, without putting them on the phone, what's your word? If they say the word, well, then you know you got something. And it should be something that you never say out loud, out in public or anything like that. Something that only they would know. When they say don't call the police, that's a natural thing for them to say. They're always going to do that. I would advise you not to call the police that second, but obviously get the information, get everything you can, record the conversation if you can. And then once you get off the phone, contact authorities. They know how to handle it. They're going to make sure they're not reaching out to that number immediately and ruining anything for you. AI is literally in its infancy. 10 years from now, there'll be TV shows probably fully AI generated. So it's scary to think what the capabilities are. I know a lot of people don't.
It's also completely just sapping human creativity, like just completely draining it from society, because you don't need to be creative. You don't need to have your own original thoughts anymore. You just have to go into like some chat GPT bot thing and say, hey, write a story for me about blah, blah, blah. And then it does it for you. Like, it is literally making us dumber. And let me tell you something else about this whole phone call, like pretend hostage situation. This isn't just about money. This isn't just about like, oh, they're trying to steal your money. This is emotional abuse. That is what this is. Because if I get a call and I hear like my 6-year-old daughter, Bella, or my 11-year-old son, Aiden, crying into the phone, my initial instinct is like, I'm going to burn everything in this world down until I find them. I'm not going to, especially if I didn't hear this story, I'm not going to stop and think like, what's going on? I'm going to figure out a way to give this person whatever they want because my child might be in danger. And I'm not going to be logical in that moment because it's emotional, like, abuse. It's wreaking havoc on you to just simply hear the person that you love most in the world. People need to be aware of this and educated about this.
I agree. And for those of you who are saying, you know, oh, I'm too old or whatever, I don't want to get on this AI train for whatever reason, because of the reasons you just laid out or whatever your personal reasons are, you still have to understand it. You still have to understand it. You still have to stay updated with it, because
yes, exactly.
in order to defend against it, you have to understand what you're fighting. So regardless
you have to know
of
your
how,
enemy, man.
Yeah, regardless of how you feel, it's coming. It's coming, and it's something that you have to understand, and you have to know how it works so that maybe there's something, if it, God forbid, ever happens to you, you know what to look for and you know how to navigate through that. So I am also with you. I'm very surprised that this isn't a bigger story, because it does seem like it would be something that many people would be very interested in, because this is just a fraction of how this could be used in a bad way, right? This is like the lowest level of just using AI, where very easily accessible, you're in, you're out. They probably made this call to 50 different parents, right? All they need is a couple to work for it to be a successful day. But this is just scratching the surface of what the bad people will eventually do with AI, and how it'll be monetized in a way where bad guys will purposely learn these programs in order to carry out these acts, because God forbid they use it for good, right? They use it to better society. They're going to go with the easy route. So I'm interested. I am interested in it. I think it can be good for us as well. But with anything like this,
I don't think it can be good for us in any way, shape, or form. There's nothing about this AI that is good for us. It's like nobody's ever seen like a movie before, or nobody's ever seen the Terminator. Like, there's nothing about this that is good for us.
I think there's things, if it was used correctly in the medical field, in the science field, where clearly the computers are smarter than we are. Now, obviously it could be bad, but there's things that they can do, they can process in a fraction of the time it would take the human being. So in that context, it can be used to maybe cure disease or help better our understanding of our climate and all these different things, where we can better predict what the future is going to bring and how to help humanity. But I do agree with you that there's also a million things that could be bad for us as well. I mean, I don't know, the Terminator thing, we might not even be here by the time AI catches up, because at the rate we're going right now, we got problems. That's a whole
you're just a freaking bowl of sunshine today.
No, you're the one saying, listen, I'm trying to say we can cure cancer with it, and you're like, nope.
No,
we're all going to be prisoners of robots within a year.
You're literally making humankind obsolete, and AI can be smarter than us, but it will never be more intuitive than us, right? It doesn't have that like natural instinct, that biological like intuition that a human has. You're literally making humans complacent because they think the AI is going to do it. And what happens if the AI fails, or I don't know, becomes evil and tries to take out all of humanity?
I got it. We got it.
We're just all going to be sitting here like, well, at least it writes my term paper for me. Like, come on, man. It's not better. It's worse. We are getting worse. We're worse.
And on that note, you guys have a great day.